understanding, the UGC has also written a second letter. This is a second letter that has been written to the Jadavpur University since the first response they feel was generic without any specific details mentioning what are the kind of preventive measures that have been taken to ensure these episodes or incidents of ragging can be contained. So that's the big update that's coming in the backdrop of this very unfortunate death of a 17-year-old student who had taken admission in the Jadavpur University. The UGC has also now written a letter, and why this is crucial is because this is a second letter that has been written to the university, because the UGC feels the response that came in the first letter was far too generic. Let's also now bring in our colleague Sharon Elizabeth, who in fact is getting us these details. Sharon, two things that I want to understand from you. One, what was the response to the first letter that came from the Jadavpur University? And secondly, what does the second letter that has now been written by the UGC say?
Well, the UGC has made it very clear. The chairperson, Jadavpur Mamidala, while speaking to CNN News 18, has clearly said that they were not really satisfied with the first response that was sought by UGC as far as this incident is concerned. Now, they have in fact has written a second letter to Jadavpur University, since the first response was very generic in nature. There were no details on what were the measures that were taken in place. If specifically to quote Mr. Jadavpur Mamidala, he says that the generic response was something that was not satisfactory. There was no specific date on what the preventive measures have been taken to eliminate the incidents of ragging. And we have asked the Jadavpur University to inform us if the provisions of UGC regulation on curbing the menace of ragging in the higher education institutions are implemented or not. Now, the response of the second letter that has been written by UGC, there has been no response that has been received. The UGC says that they are awaiting a response. If this again is going to be a generic response, then the sources have been suggesting a team from the UGC will be themselves visiting the Jadavpur University. But for that, of course, we have to wait for a response from Jadavpur University, the second letter that has been written by UGC at this point.
So this is crucial what Sharon is pointing out. She's telling us two things. One, that a second letter has now been written by the UGC to Jadavpur University because they felt the response that came the first time around was far too generic. But there were no clear measures that were mentioned to try and contain these episodes of ragging. And the second crucial bit that Sharon is also bringing to us, that even as they await the response of the second letter, even if that is also generic, then it's a possibility that a team of the UGC could visit the campus of Jadavpur University as well. But Sharon, I just want to go back to the first letter. When sources within the UGC and even people working with the UGC tell you that the response in the first letter was far too generic, that means the university failed in telling what are the kind of... Okay, I just request you to stay on with us, Sharon, because I believe we have to cut across